goes against the verse of the Quran that you have to categorize. Yes, if the hadiths are mutawatir, there are scholars here. They can specify. They cannot negate the Quran. They can specify. For example, everybody is the inheritor. Every son or daughter is the inheritor of their father, right? This is very simple law of the Quran. But unfortunately, if the particular son he kills his father, he will not get any share of his inheritance. This is not in Quran, but the Sahih Hadith, Mutawatir Hadith, they specify it. Mutakhassis, they could be the specifier or the mutakhassis of the Quran, but not the they cannot cancel Quran. So we have to keep all these things in perspective. So beautifully that scholar has written, which I wanted to say. He comes to me there, he showed me that I read that Arabic fatwa of the Aziz hand of the Rasulullah, and both the grandfather and the grandson, they always were found together in the streets of Makkah, in Hatim, in Hijr, in Tawaf, in, even I read, uh, I will share that, because he was the chief and he used to serve as a judge, he used to arbitrate, he used to serve as a mediator. People used to bring all his matters towards him to be settled. And where he used to sit, in the C-shaped hatim of Kaaba. And in Arab, there was no formal government and there was no formal thrones where the king used to sit in those days. So their kingship was only a small raised platform, and there was orange and red colored carpet they used to put for Sayyidina Abdul Muttalib. So he used to sit there, and people used to come, and he used to judge between them, arbitrator, mediator. So this was the custom. This was the etiquette and the law of the government, or the law of the team, that nobody other than the chief of the Quraysh, who was Abdul Muttalib in this case, was supposed to sit on that rock. That was the significance of that rock. Even none of the remaining 10 sons of Sayyidina Abdul Muttalib, who are the uncles of Rasulullah, including Abu Lahab, Abu Talib, Abbas, Hamza, and all other uncles, none of them had out of respect, out of the etiquette, they never even came near the rock. And Sayyidina Rasulullah, he was so much attached to his grandfather that without hesitation, he used to come and sit on the rock. And because of the protocol, the uncles, they used to forbid him that no, you shouldn't go there. But Sayyidina Abdul Muttalib said, stop, let him come and sit. Haza ibni la yakunanna sham. This is my son who will have a great glory in this world. So he realized, because he had seen all the signs, he understood that the Zamzam I have dug before he is born, that the Abrahu Yamani who has attacked Kaaba and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved us. This is all the background of the coming of this blessed baby. So there was the lesson from the Seerat of the Rasulullah in this age, 2 years of his life, from 6 to 8. From 6 to 8, he is under the care of Sayyidina Abdul Muttalib. But we should not forget, I'm overemphasizing, but this is what I learned, and I couldn't appreciate before yesterday, I couldn't appreciate the role of Ayman. No doubt that Abdul Muttalib was taking care of him, but how an 82 years old male he was taking care of a 6-year-old child? This was basically the upbringing of Ayman, that Raziallahu Ta'ala, who is that African maid servant of Sayyidina Abdullah, who basically raised her. Even until Rasulullah went to his uncle Abu Talib, he raised her. So basically, Rasulullah's tarbiyah from 2 mothers, Sayyidah Amna and Ayman. So I couldn't really realize, because we always talk about Sayyidina Abdul Muttalib, and that's how he raised Rasulullah from 6 years to 8 years. But at home, because always the women, they used to make meals, prepare the food, prepare clothes, sleep with them. How our 82 years old man, he cannot do all those things, all these chores. So who did that? He said, Ayman. So that is the reason he touched my heart. And Rasulullah, he didn't undermine her role. He put her to the top, always respected her, always counted her as his mother. Then the time passed, and he, at a very tender age of between 6 to 8, and this is, you will see the modern science, modern education, we learn that the things you learn in this early childhood, they really put an imprint in your brain. That you learn from the imprinting of your adults. He saw that how people come, they're quarreling with each other, they're quarreling over small things. And these, trivial things, they are leading to big battles. He observed that because he was accompanying his grandfather. And he saw the leadership role of Sayyidina Abdul Muttalib. He observed at a very small age, a very young age, he observed that how he settles the disputes, how he puts it inside into settling the disputes. That's where Rasulullah learned the wisdom and the leadership qualities from his grandfather. So that's how he is shaping. So patience from his being the team, and wisdom, leadership, how to settle things at very young age. Look how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is managing the personality of the Rasulullah. How the young Muhammad is being raised to become the leader of the Ummah forever, and the Sayyidul Kainat, Sayyidul Awliya. At the age of 8, one thing which I left, he was so much confidence Sayyidina Abdul Muttalib gave to Rasulullah that in those days you can say, nowadays you can say a town hall or a town committee of Makkah, which is written in the Seerat books as a Darun Nadwa. Some people have translated it as a parliament, but I think the parliament is a big word. I would say a town hall or a town committee where our mayor sits, our councillors sit, and the notables from different departments, they sit and they talk about what to do about the town. Only selected people, only leaders of the small clans, they used to come and sit in the town committee meeting or hall. So Sayyidina Abdul Muttalib, definitely he used to preside it. There, nobody could enter Darun Nadwa until equal to or more than age 45. But he took Rasulullah with him. Look at the confidence he gave. And not only he took 8 years old Muhammad into that meeting, but he used to ask him, what is your opinion about this matter? This is written by, I really researched on this. That sometimes the Seerah writers, they're over ambitious, they write it. But I searched and I found out that Imam Suhaili Rahmatullah, who is the who has explained Ibn Hisham, one of the earliest sources on the Seerah, Imam Suhaili, Arozul Anaf fi Sharah Ibn Hisham, he has written this, that he used to take Sayyidina Rasulullah 8 years of age, and he used to consult him about, what is your opinion about this matter? Look how much confidence he was instilling into Muhammad at age 8. So we learn from this attitude of Sayyidina Abdul Muttalib also that we should include our children, in our consultations. We should expose them. We should expose them to the daily activities. We should expose them to the real matters of life, so that their critical thinking, all these faculties in their brain, they develop. So that later on in life, when they have to face these things, they are well equipped. So this is another lesson from that. So these 2 years passed like this. Then, when the time came and Sayyidina Abdul Muttalib has to depart from this world, he chose his real uncle. And he was the full brother of Sayyidina Abdullah, who is father of Rasulullah. So he chose a real uncle, who's uncle from father and mother, Sayyidina Abu Talib. Sayyidina Abu Talib he chose to bring up Muhammad Sallallahu. And look how many years he was under the tutelage, under the cover of, under the shade, under the protection, under the guardianship of Sayyidina Abu Talib. He was 8 years of age. And when Sayyidina Abu Talib left this world, that was only 2 years before he left from Makkah. 2 years before he left, and Rasulullah did the hijrah 2 years before that. It's because it's called Amr Huzn, when Sayyidatuna Khadija and Sayyidina Abu Talib together, they leave this world. It's called Amr Huzn, the year of sorrow. That is 10th year of Makkan life. 10th year of Makkan life. And Rasulullah announced his prophethood at age 40. So that's almost half a century. Half a century. Just realize that. These are the points I just, by researching yesterday, I took out. Usually we say, okay, he took care of Sayyidina Rasulullah, and at age 8, he was under the care of Sayyidina Abu Talib. But look, 50 years, half a century. And this is not like when, no doubt, Rasulullah got married, he had a separate family, he was living separately. But do not forget, until Sayyidina Abu Talib, and he was the next leader after Sayyidina Abdul Muttalib of the Quraysh, nobody had the courage to come near Rasulullah. Why did he have to leave Makkah and look for another city, which is Taif? He did the journey of Taif after Abu Talib left this world. He had to leave Makkah and had to migrate to Medina after Abu Talib left. But 48 years, this is Alam Yajid Yatiman Fa'awa. This is Fa'awa, we protected you. We made great arrangements for you. We have really made a great guardian for you. This is Fa'awa. This is Sayyidina Abu Talib after Sayyidina Abdul Muttalib. 48 years. And he faced the Quraysh. I mean, we will read, we will study this, and in the coming lectures. I just want to give the background. 48 years. He faced all kind of challenges, all kind of pressure from the families, political pressure, religious pressure, but he didn't leave any stone unturned in supporting his nephew Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And nobody has many times the leaders of the Quraysh came to him and he said, whatever Muhammad wants, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we can give. He wants to marry the beautiful girl in Arab, we can. He wants to be the leader of this, city, this part, we are there to offer. If he wants money, we can give him the, hoards of the gold. And just tell him not to, say bad words about our deities, our, idols, and do not, call them names. So we are ready to give all this. And he called Rasulullah and he said that, I'm an old man. He was between 80 to 90 as well. He was 88, 89 years old when he departed from this world. He said, I'm old, look, they are coming, they're pressurizing me. And what do you say, my dear son, my dear nephew? What do you say about that? Rasulullah said, if they put sun in my right hand, and if they put moon in my left hand, still I will not stop teaching the oneness of Tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When he saw that much determination in the commitment, determination in the message of Rasulullah, he said, go ahead, do whatever you want, I'm with you. This is the courage of Sayyidina Abu Talib. And such should be the man who should have been the protector, the guardian, and the caretaker of the Rasulullah. Books have written so much about how he raised Rasulullah. And his wife, who is the daughter of Sayyidina, who is the mother of Sayyidina Ali bin Abi Talib, who is the mother of Ja'far bin Abi Talib, and Aqil bin Abi Talib, they all three accepted Islam. And the eldest son, Talib, he didn't accept Islam, what the books say. But Fatima binti Asad, the third mother of Rasulullah, Sayyidatuna Amina, then Ayman. After Ayman is the Ali, the mother of Ali, the wife of Sayyidina Abu Talib, Fatima binti Asad radiallahu ta'ala, and she accepted Islam. And Rasulullah gave so much respect to her that I think she is I don't know anybody else, that when they dig the grave for Sayyidatuna Fatima binti Asad, the grave is there in the Jannatul Baqi. Rasulullah himself laid in the grave of Fatima binti Asad, and he said, why I gave? So that the grave doesn't push on her and doesn't touch her, so that she feels the pain of the heart. This was the love and respect. So we learn from the character of the Rasulullah that anybody who has done good to you in your childhood, in your early childhood, in your adolescence, in your adulthood, or any time, look how Rasulullah, how grateful he is, how much rewarding he is, how much caring he is. He is not the man that he got the benefit from somebody, and then when he got the power, leadership, that role of giving, he forgot. Same thing with Sayyidina Halima Sadiya, the foster mother of Rasulullah. He stood up in the honor of his foster mother, and he made his sheet, his the sheet which he was recovering. He put it. He said, sit here. Sayyidina Halima Sadiya. And also he respected his foster father, Haris bin Abdul Haris, the husband of Halima Sadiya, also. And also his the foster sister, Shaima. He also respected. He said, because a long time has passed, This was around just after Fatah Makkah, 8th Hijrah, 3-4 years before Rasulullah left. They were very young when she raised. It was almost 40 to 50 years gap. And she came, Rasulullah just said, just tested her. Just tell me, how can I believe that you are the Shaima? She said, look at your right shoulder. One time I took a bite of your flesh from there. You must have the, marks from that. And Rasulullah said, yes, you are the one. So this is the character of the Rasulullah. لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Today I see people when they need somebody, they call them, they flatter them, and they go around them. And when the purpose is done, this is today's world, this is the society. And when the purpose is done, they do not pick your calls. They do not know who you are. They do not even care what did you do to them. This should not be the attitude of a person who follows Muhammad. This should not be the attitude of a Muhammad. It should not be the attitude of lover of Rasulullah. The attitude of the Muhammad is that whoever did ihsan to him, he believed hal jazaa al ihsan illa al ihsan. The Quranic principle. What is the reward of the ihsan? Whoever commits neki to you, does neki to you, the reward is do more ihsan. So this is how Rasulullah and Sayyidina Abu Talib's home. He loved them. He loved Rasulullah more than his own children. He loved Rasulullah. It's easy to say, but it's very hard to imagine. And there are evidences that he loved Rasulullah more than his own children. It's very hard to say. And you cannot love someone if you really do not believe in him more than your own children. When the boycott happened, when the boycott of Shahbi Abi Talib for 3 years happened, all the Seerat books, almost all the Seerat books have mentioned that this was such a dangerous time for Rasulullah. For 3 years, they cut all the ties with the family of the Bani Hashim. They do social boycott, they did the financial boycott, they did the no trade with them, no even, there will be no marriages with them as well. So such a hard time. Every day they were looking to kill Rasulullah. And what did Abu Talib did? Every day he used to change the place of Sayyidina Rasulullah where he will sleep. He used to manage it. And where the people know, the public knew where he is sleeping, he used to ask one of his sons, one of his real sons, to go and sleep in the bed of Rasulullah. Who has this courage? Who has this courage? That he knew that the Quraysh, they can come and they can kill in this particular bed, which is assigned to Rasulullah, which the people know. But he had the courage. This is Alam Yajid Ka Yatim and Fawa. Allah chooses the people whom he knows. He gives the qualities, what kind of work he wants. He gives the anatomy for what kind of physiology he wants from them. Those kind of courage. Everybody doesn't have that courage. This is the courage of Abu Talib, that he can sacrifice his sons. And this was the training. This was the training that Ali radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he had no hesitation on the night of the Hijrah that he slept in the bed of Rasulullah. Was there any doubt? Quran has mentioned that. Was there any doubt that all the most brave people, the most young people, they will come and they will attack that person lying in that bed and they will kill them? He had no doubt. But look at Sayyidina Ali. He said, I had the most peaceful sleep on that night than any other night. People ask, why? Were you not fearful that the Makkans will come with their naked swords and they will put you in pieces? They will do the dissection of your body. They will take out everything away from you. He said, no. Why? Because Rasulullah said, go ahead, Ali, you sleep in my bed, and in a few weeks, you will come, in a couple of weeks, you will join me in Medina. I have so much faith in the saying of the Rasulullah when he said that Ali, you will join me in a couple of weeks. I have no doubt that I will join. Nobody will be able to touch me. This was the upbringing. This was the house in which Sayyidina Muhammad was raised. as a child, from 8 years of age until 25 years of age, when he had a separate home and he got married. So they never used to touch the breakfast until Rasulullah will join. They waited, the whole family waited until Rasulullah will join the breakfast. Sayyidina Abu Talib never let anybody touch it. And the Seerat, the people of Seerat, Ahlul Sayyid, they have written, Ahlul Maghazi, they have written that Rasulullah, when he used to wake up in the morning, it was not like other kids, that his eyes are matted together and his face is pale. And you can see, you have to go and you have to go to the washroom, you have to freshen up. But the Rasulullah face, he used to wake up, he didn't have all these kind of things. Face fresh, full of mood, freshness of Rasulullah always. So they never, because why they say, the Seerat, the Ahlul Sayyid, they have written that whenever they used to eat without Rasulullah, for example, he was not there, they never used to eat to their full. Their bellies were not filled. But with a small meal in the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were able to eat to the fullest. So few things. And also, just like his father, Sayyidina Abdul Muttalib, who used to carry Rasulullah sallam, used to carry him everywhere in the streets of Makkah, around the Kaaba, in the Hijr, in the Hatim, in Tawaf, in Darul Nadwa, everywhere. Same thing with Sayyidina Abu Talib. There used to be the Seerat, the Ahlul Sayyid, they have written, there was not a day, there was not a moment when the Ammu Rasul, Ammu Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abu Talib, and Sayyidina Rasulullah is not together. Always protected, always looked at him, always took care of him. He was never negligent of the care of Sayyidina Rasulullah. And Fatma bint Asad, you see. And one thing I forgot to mention, I have to go back, that the playmates, the childhood friends of Sayyidina Rasulullah, I figured out, is Sayyidina Hamza, is only 3-4 years, only a few years, around 3 to 4 years older than Rasulullah. Sayyidina Abbas is 2 to 3 years old, older than Rasulullah. And the aunt of, although they are uncle of Rasulullah, but they were they were of the same age. So Rasulullah he used to play with them. That's how he grew up. And we all know that Sayyidina Hamza, he was a strong man. He was not an average height man or an average strength man. No, he was an extraordinarily brave, extraordinarily, his height was extraordinary, his strength was extraordinary, and he was a great sportsman. So he was very good at archery, very good at, swords, a great rider. Everybody was afraid of him. He was the lion of Rasulullah. So that he spent time with Sayyidina Hamza. He learned, Rasulullah's height was average, his strength was average. So he used to learn from Sayyidina Hamza. He learned archery. He was very good at archery, using the bow and arm, and he used to throw the arrows. He was very good at that. He liked swimming. So he learned swimming from them, and he liked the riding. And then he also grew up with Sayyidina Abbas, who is also the real uncle of Rasulullah, and Sayyidina Safiya. And then we, around when he was 15 to 16 years of age, then the children of Sayyidina Abu Talib also, I mentioned Talib bin Abi Talib, Aqil bin Abi Talib, Ja'far bin Abi Talib, and Ali bin Abi Talib. Ali, he was only 10 years of age when he announced prophethood. So he was really young. So he really basically raised Sayyidina Ali as his son, that we'll talk later. So these were the playmates of the Rasulullah. So age difference is very little. And this is how the childhood of Rasulullah passed. We'll talk about more about Sayyidina Abu Talib, and how I just mentioned a couple of things about him, but he did not leave any stone unturned. All kinds of, sport. He gave moral sport, political sport, all kinds of sports he offered to Rasulullah. Then, as we all know that, Sayyidina Abu Talib's his financial condition was not really great. So when Rasulullah Sallallahu he was 9 or 10 years of age, he started working. He started working. And what was the work at that time? Uh, the people who had the herds of the sheep and the goat, because Makkah is a terrain of mountains, and there are valleys full of the grass. So you have to find where is the pasture to take the herds. So the people who were the owners of the herds, they used to hire children. They used to take care of them. Those sheep, goats, they used to take them in the morning, early morning. They used to count the sheep, give it to them, around up to 40 to 50 sheep. The Ahlul Seer has written. They used to give, and all day in the sun, in the desert, those children, they used to take care of them. And this taking care of this herd, 50 sheep, the people who have seen that, they can imagine such a hard work. And the learning you do from it is tremendous. They run all over the place. They run here, there. They do not, stay in the herd. So you have to be watchful, and you have to run after them. It gives you a lot of patience, and you have to be so watchful that you learn from this. But you have to be really keeping an eye on them, that they are not, getting away from the herd, because there were so many wild hyenas and other wild animals. They used to attack the sheep and goats, whoever were alone, and then your number will fall in the evening, and when you take to the owner, he will not like you as a worker. So this is how much hard work was. And look at the age. Age is 9 to 10, and he is taking that herd. And they used to, pay different people of the Seerat. They have written different wages. But some people say that they used to give the 20th part of the dinar of the currency. But Sayyidina Abu Zura Misri Rahmatullah, he wrote, which makes sense, that when they used to go to milk at the end of the day, so there was a certain portion which was given to them. Also, I want to mention here that there is a hadith of Rasulullah that every prophet was a shepherd. Every prophet. Look at Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam, he ran after the goats, and he ran so much after the goat. You know how strong man he was, and he used to lose his temper very quickly, right? And he was strong man. So he ran so much after the patience you learn from the sheep. And he said, if I hold, when I'm going to hold this, when I will grab the sheep, I'm going to take care of it. He was so mad. But when he able to catch, he was kind, cool. So this is how the Anbiya, they learned the patience from herding, from being a herd. Because Rasulullah said, "Kullukum ra'in, wa kullukum mas'ulun an ra'iyati." Every one of you is a shepherd. Why? One person, he is taking care of his family. He will be asked about his family. Wa kullukum mas'ulun an ra'iyati. And everybody will be asked the questions about whatever he possesses, whatever is entrusted to him, whatever his jurisdiction is. He will be asked about that. If you are the king, you will be asked about the whole country's affairs on the day of judgment. So he gave a analogy with the being kullukum ra'i. Every one of you is ra'i, is the shepherd. And we see all the prophets, Sayyidina Dawud alayhi salam, they all did this herding. They were a shepherd. They took care of the herds, and all day in the sun, in the shade, in the desert, without water, and you have to keep an eye on that, and you have to find where are the pastures, where we can, take our, sheep and the goats, where they can, better, have grazing and all that. So this was the early childhood of Rasulullah. I'll just finish here over one journey of the Rasulullah. We'll up. Where is the other? This year. When, so we talked about 9 to 10 years. Now, when Rasulullah was 12 years of age, he, the most favorite profession. Now he's choosing his occupation, his profession. He's developing. Now he's doing his, now he's a university kind of a high school or university age, and he is trying to look for his career. The most lucrative career was being a trader. Learn how to trade, because we explained in detail that Makkah was the center on the road from the Far East, Indonesia, Malaysia, Java, Sumatra, Far East. All the goods used to come to the seaport of Yemen, and from the seaport of the Yemen, all the eastern goods they used to pass through the Meccan traders, Meccan mercantiles, Meccan merchants to the Syria, which was a part of the Roman Empire at that time, a province of Roman Empire. At that time, Syria was Jordan, Palestine, Syria itself. This was one province altogether. All these four countries, they were one province called Balad Sham, and it was part of the Eastern Roman Empire. So all the goods from the Eastern world, they used to travel through the Meccan merchants to the northern part of the world, Syria, and all the Europeans and the people from the north, they used to buy those things. And the vice versa, the goods from the Egypt, from Europe, from the parts of the Turkey, or part of the Eastern Roman Empire, they used to bring those things and bring it to Yemen, so that the people of the East, they can buy it. So this was a lucrative profession, and we have heard a lot about when the Ghazwat al-Badr happened. What happened? They attacked the caravan of the Abu Sufyan, right? And the worth of that caravan, the Ahlul Sayyid has written, it was in today's currency, it was 50,000 pounds. 50,000 pounds. People used to put shares. When they knew a caravan is going, they used to put shares. As we buy shares today in the big companies, they used to put shares. And when the caravan used to come back, they used to calculate and give the money back. So Sayyidina Abu Talib, he decided that I'm going to go to the north, to the city of Busra, near the Syria and Jordan. So he was ready and he was going alone. Then Rasulullah came and he held the nasal rein of the camel, where Sayyidina Abu Talib was riding. He cried. His tears, he's full of tears. And he's continuously crying that, I'm not gonna stay alone in Makkah, because you are going, because it used to take at least 1 month, at least 1 to 2 months to go and come back. So he said, to whom are you entrusting me in this city? I am not going to be alone without you. Look at the bond between the uncle and the nephew, which I mentioned. He said that I am not going to stay without you. So finally, Sayyidina Abu Talib, decided to take him. So this is the route they took. This is from Makkah, and this is the route all the way from Makkah to Busra till Sham, along with his uncle. This is in Urdu. Makkah Mukarramah se Busra, Sham tak, chacha ke saath safar. There are two journeys, which will be separate, but right now we're talking about this green arrow. This is the journey of the Rasulullah at the age of 12 years of age, and he's learning the career of being a trader. He's learning that. He's choosing the occupation. He's exposed to this merchandise. That he starts from Makkah, and then passes by the Seerat. This is near Tabuk. Ghazwat Tabuk happened in 9th century later on. This is near that. Dawmat al-Jundal, also very famous. So this is between near Jordan, the city Busra. So this is the route of the Great Caravan. And why this is so famous in the Seerat, that on the way, there used to be a monastery, a khanqa, a soma in the language of the Quran. As today we have the khanqahs. Well, khanqa means people go in seclusion, in khalwa. They reflect, they contemplate, they cut from themselves, from the unnecessary, socialization. They sit there, they contemplate. So there used to be a monk, bishop from the religion of the Christianity. His name in Arabic, they say Buhaira, but in the English literature, they say Bahira. They the Fatah and with Dhamma both. I don't know which one is correct. So Bahira or Buhaira. He was the monk, and he had the real knowledge, as we mentioned so many times, that a إني مبشرا برسولا يأتي من بعد اسمه أحمد. So this is the verse of the Quran. Now this is categorical principle we get that when Isa والسلام, he had talked to his Hawariyun that I give you the glad tidings of our Rasul who is coming, his name will be Ahmad. So when the Quran mentions this in such a categorical way, we have no doubt. We have no doubt that the real scholars of the Christianity and the real Mashaykh of the Christianity, they had no doubt that a Nabiul Hatam, a Nabiul Muntazar, who is a awaited prophet, is coming. So they were always in search of the prophet. So he was on this way, on this route, here, Busra, here. He had you can say Montessori, he has his Khanka, he has his seclusion place. So he never bothered. Every, little at the Shitai, little at the side, Surah Mubarak, Quraysh, we see all the time. So caravan of summer and caravan of winter, they used to come and go. He never cared. He didn't bother about. He didn't give damn anything to these merchandises. He never offered them even to come and sit in the shade, and never offered them a cup of tea. Nothing. He didn't care. But today, when Muhammad is coming, and he knows he's waiting for him, Rasulullah. He sees that, something extraordinary, something unusual. He sees the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, this caravan is coming and the shade, cloud is putting a shade on them. And when the caravan moves this side, that side, that the shade is there, right? And when he continues to observe it. Meticulously, he observes this and he sees that when the caravan is sitting under a tree and, they're sitting and there is no shade, the tree moves to give them the shade. So this is, he wondered what is going on. And it's a long story. I'll cut short. Inshallah, we'll do some, later on in the next time. But that day he gives an invitation to the leader, which is Abu Talib, that, please, I want to invite you. I want to give you a feast. I want to give you a banquet. I want to give you a dinner. Please bless me with your presence. We were so surprised that this guy even never cared about us. He didn't even offer us to sit there and have a, a rest a little bit. Now he's offering us a feast, a banquet. So they said there's something, unusual. So what they say is if we have a 12-year-old guy, he's really, careful, he's a really good guy, we will, put all our belongings in one place. We'll put all our animals here, and we will ask Muhammad to take care of them, because he's only a, child, so teenager. So it's okay. He can just take care of our belongings, our animals, and we will all go and we will have the feast and chit chat and with this monk. But it comes in. It's a long story. There's so much Arabic in it there too. Inshallah, next time I'll just touch it. So they come and he looks at everyone, welcomes everyone, gives food, but what he's looking for, he's not able to find. So he at the end, he says that, is there anybody left in the caravan? He said, not really. But he said, but there must be somebody, you have not brought. So then they said, there's only a small, young guy who is taking care of our belongings. He's not accompanying us. He said, please go ahead and bring him through. So when Rasulullah comes, he looks at the blessed face of the Rasulullah. So he sees that Al-Mubarak, the blessed forehead and the blessed face of Rasulullah, 12 years old Muhammad. And he had a knowledge. He had not only the knowledge the ulama has written, as we say the marfa, we see that there are the scholars, their chest is blessed with light. Yeah, as Rasulullah said, ittaqu farasat He saw that he looked at different, his face. When he said, you know, I want to ask you a few questions, but let's have a halaf, let's have a oath. I want to take an oath from you. So then we will start the conversation. He said, I want you to do an oath on behalf of the idols, La, Uzza, Manat. Auzu billah, Auzu billah, billah, wa Uzza al Manat. Muhammad said, look how he's raised. No, I will not give you an oath on these parts. I'll give you an oath in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is 12 years old. That's so first question is done. He asked many questions, and then he asked that where is your father? Who is his father? Rasulullah did answer. Said Abu Talib said, I am his father. He said, but no, his father should have passed away before he was born. He said, yes. I was just, as is also called Ab. In Arab, this is very common to use the word Ab for, as they say for Sayyidina Ibrahim, as the Quran mentions for his Ab. Many Mufassirun have said this is not the real father of Rasulullah of Sayyidina Ibrahim, but the uncle of the Ibrahim. We'll talk later when it comes. So finally, he did all the questions, but at the end, he wanted to look at the seal of the prophethood, more than Nabuwa, which was so much. One hour can be spent on the more on Nabuwa. Inshallah, we'll talk next time. But in a very simple words, you can say it's a small piece of flesh, an extra flesh between the blessed shoulders of the Rasulullah. So he said, I want to look at the back of you. And he looked at the back of the Rasulullah and he found the seal of the Prophet, Mohr Nabuwa. So that's how he figured out that this is the last of the prophets. This is the Nabi al-Muntathir who has come, and Nabi al-Khatam who has come. So he said to Sayyidina Abu Talib, do you know who is this guy? And Sayyidina Abu Talib also, had the feeling that he always used to say, Innaka la mubarakun, Innaka la mubarakun. Oh, you are the most blessed. You are the most blessed. La yakununna shan, la yakununna shan. There will be a huge shan for you. There will be a huge glory for you. He always used to say that. So then he realized, he took in the private, he took Sayyidina Abu Talib in the private for Hira, and he said, there are the people of the book, they will be jealous of him in Syria. So please, cut short your journey, try to save him. So he gave him the hints about that. So inshallah, next time we'll start from 12 years and after, and we'll continue from there. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq that we try to learn about the footsteps of the Rasulullah and try to implement them in our life, in our hearts, and reading about Rasulullah, we are supposed to reach to the level of love that we love him more than our parents, more than our children, and one nasir. This is supposed to be, this is a condition. This is not an option. So we need to continue to grow in the love of Rasulullah. Love comes from the zikr of the Rasulullah. Love comes from the salat upon Rasulullah. Love comes upon reading the book which was revealed on the blessed heart of the Rasulullah, which is Quran, and learning about the seerah of the Rasulullah and acting upon the seerah of the Rasulullah. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala khayri khalqihi Muhammadin wa alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Inshallah, there will be food.